I think we all need a respite from campaign clamor and elections and all the craziness in the world. And so today we're providing you a little visual reprieve with an array of Schlumberger pieces. And these are what we call book pieces, most of these, because they're in some of the various tomes that are written about Jean Schlumberger. Let's start with this incredible bracelet that just came in. This bracelet is absolutely iconic Schlumberger. It was produced over 20 years ago, and it is a motif that we see here from the collection of Mrs. Millen. This was called Fleurage, this necklace from Mrs. Paul Millen, Bunny Millen's collection. You can see some similar floral motifs in this bracelet, and they are joined together by this kind of gold wire work for which Schlumberger is known in a pattern called trellis. And you can see that each of these pieces is en tremblant. They move in various different ways and providing movement and just such a luxurious expanse of 18 karat gold and pearls and diamonds. This is in its original Tiffany box. As mentioned, this was produced about 20 years ago. This is on the larger size, this for a larger wrist. I would say probably a 7-inch to 7.5-inch wrist, but this can be accommodated. This can be altered if needed. But this is really a special piece, and you can see here, these are the motifs that Schlumberger loved best: leaves and flowers and objects from marine objects from the sea. So this is a really, really spectacular Schlumberger bracelet. Then we have, moving on to this group over here, we have these earrings, which are also from the collection of Mrs. Paul Millen, Bunny Millen. And these are, again, this sort of floral motif set in a classic Schlumberger setting. This particular earring happens to be lapis. These were made with coral and with other semi-precious stones, but we like the lapis version. This is a good neutral. Blue is a great neutral, and these are just a really nice size. They're about 1.5 inches long, and they make a really nice sparkly show on the ear. I think all of these pieces that we're showing today are really terrific pieces to have during the holidays, and they're super collectible. Tiffany, as you know, is now owned by LVMH, who will be reproducing some of these pieces and already are at great cost, much more expensive than these vintage pieces. Here we have a ring, a 3-tier Eternity band by Schlumberger. And this, let's look at this in the bright light. You can get a sense of how sparkly this is. This was featured in the Tiffany Blue Books from the 1970s, and we have one of those blue books right here. And this blue book is actually from 76, 77. And we also have this ring in a single tier version. This was the ring that Jack Kennedy gave Jacqueline, his wife. And these are both no longer made. These will not be reproduced as far as we know by Tiffany, or haven't been. And they're super chic. And you could actually wear all of these together to great effect. This one, the one on the end here, the single one is a size 6.5, and this one is a size 5, and these cannot be sized. So these need the right person to wear these. But again, here's a Tiffany Blue Book, and you can see the 16 stone ring that Tiffany made is still produced, as is this band, which are, the most popular, and you see these all the time. But these designs are not. And these are the kind of thing we look for, pieces that are no longer made. And I'm sorry this is out of focus, but they're really unusual and special. And here we have a ring that was custom made for a client using their personal intaglio, their family intaglio, which is a rock crystal intaglio. And you can see here what the motif is in this iconic Schlumberger setting. These sort of lovely fingers of gold reaching out to hold the intaglio. And again, we're sort of showing you in the background some of these motifs for which Schlumberger is known. You can see this wire work, which, also appears in this ring. This same kind of feathery gold motif as you see in this ring. So there you have it, an array of Schlumberger pieces for your holiday pleasure, and really extraordinary bracelet that we're very excited to have, as well as these other beautiful pieces. So do not hesitate to call us if you ever have any Schlumberger pieces for sale. We are buying and selling every day, and we thank you for listening.